Alright, it says we're back. I don't know if we're... I think I may have had a setting too, low. I don't think it was using my CPU enough.
Huh.
Yeah, 'cause there's a setting in this that it's... For any streamers who are watching this, there's a setting here for encoder preset, and higher equals less CPU, and it was set to very fast. I lowered it to medium. And,
Oh, yeah.
now my CPU's actually being used more. Before it would just sit at 3 or 4%.
You gotta look up how to set up OBS.
Well, I need to talk to Hat, and I always forget because I only think about
Just
it.
Google. There's YouTube videos that make it real easy. Even I understood it because I had one upload speed once upon a time, and I made it work streaming.
Yeah, I have 10 upload. I shouldn't have issues. I think it's just my settings because it looks like we're good.
Yeah, look up YouTube tutorials. They go into every single setting.
Alright, well, we're going to test it out. Welcome to Tavern Talk, Take 2, Playoff Editions. I'm joined today by Slimp. How you doing today, buddy?
Good and faceless.
Yes, we're testing out getting rid of the cams. That didn't work instantly, and so we stopped and we fixed it. Tim, how you doing today, buddy? Animore Cool.
Wonderful. Animore Cool. How you doing?
Doing all right. GideonJura, welcome to Tavern Talk. It's great to have you on. For those who don't know, GideonJura is a rookie this season, correct? Right?
Yes.
And you are currently the 3 seed for the Thermoquims.
Yep.
Yeah, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing quite all right. Yeah, so we're going to get right into it this week with talking about BlizzCon. No, I'm joking. How many of y'all have played Mare and the Fox decks yet?
Not me.
Not me.
I tried out Combo Priest with it in Wild. It wasn't awful.
Okay.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't awful.
Yeah, I haven't got to play it yet, but I got a golden one because I had a virtual ticket, so...
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I apologize for the lack of cameras today. Like I said, we're trying to figure out why I'm dropping frames. I think it's just because I had poor OBS settings, and it looks like we're doing better. For a while, though, it was working just fine, and the first half of the season. I don't know if I updated OBS or what. Maybe I was messing with it one day or something. All right. Does anyone have any intro, just sort of something they want to talk about here at the beginning of the show? I didn't really have much to talk about. We kind of covered. Have we talked about kobolds yet? Was that this past weekend?
We haven't talked about it.
Oh.
That was last Friday.
Oh, see, that's why. See, I'm dumb. For some reason, I was sitting here thinking that was 2 weekends ago. Somebody shoot me. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the new expansion. Excuse me. What did you guys think of it? Did you guys get to watch any of the reveals and stuff? You get to look at some of the new cards. What are your all's initial thoughts on Kobolds and Catacombs?
It looks fun, and I'm not really sure what else to say about it. I mean, I like the Dungeons and Dragons obvious theme that they're going for. That's always really cool and exciting to do, and in Warcraft tropes and whatnot. I'm glad it's not. Really?
Yes.
I mean, I like it better than mean streets of Gadgetzan, where you're where the hell did that come from?
We're setting the bar really high here. Yeah, this was better than the grand tournament so far, but yeah. So if you didn't catch it at BlizzCon, they announced the new expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs. The new keyword is called Recruit. It is basically Yasiraj effect. Battlecry, Death Run, it's just, that's the keyword. And you can recruit a two-mana minion or a 4-mana minion, whatever. Or just recruit a minion, which would be a random minion from your deck. What do you guys think about the recruit mechanic?
It feels kind of lazy, right?
Yeah.
Feels like they didn't put a whole lot of effort into it.
It definitely feels a little lazy. Brunson asked on our Q&A. I wanna point out that he asked this, but he asked, where'd it go? I lost the question. Darn it! Someone read the Brunson's question on the document. For some reason,
He
mine
said,
disappeared.
Is recruit a terrible mechanic, and why?
Exactly. We kind of just assumed it's a terrible mechanic there. But it is. It's really boring. It's very unintuitive. It's just sort of, not unintuitive, but it's just uninspired, I should say. It's just, let's put Yasiraj on lots more minions and other effects. And so, I'm not a huge fan of it.
I feel like the spell stones are more of the mechanic of the set than recruit, is what it feels like.
Yes, so they have the new spell stones, which are neat. I know, like, the shaman one is based around overloading mana crystals, so as you overload mana crystals while it's in your hand, the spell, like, upgrades. And I think currently it's Molten Reflection. It's 7 mana, and it's Molten Reflection a minion, basically. And then once you've overloaded 3 mana crystals, it goes to 2, and if you do 3 more, it goes to 3. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. The Druid one's really nice.
I was trying to figure out that Shaman spell. So, overload 3 mana crystals to upgrade, and
Yeah.
it costs 7 mana.
Mm-hmm. So the card upgrades in your hand as you.
Okay. So it upgrades in your hand, stays that way. Okay, good.
Yeah, so you just, once you've drawn it and you overload 3 mana crystals, it moves to the 2nd tier, and then it'll move to the 3rd tier.
Oh, it's like an awkward giant.
It's spell
You actually
giants.
have to draw
it is spell giants with, like, random effects. Like, it's kind of neat.
To be in your hand.
It's like the Druid one is deal 2 damage to a minion, gain 3 armor to upgrade. Then it goes to deal 4 damage to a minion, gain 3 armor to upgrade, and then it's deal 6 damage. Yeah, this mechanic's
Also,
pretty cool.
We can't really be judging Recruit like that before seeing the whole set. I get on its face how it looks, but I don't know. You never know what's in store.
Yeah, the
that's
cards
the
could
only
be cool.
new keyword, though.
So far it is. Hopefully.
Upgrade.
Yeah, it's not a keyword, but yeah.
Upgrade.
These the spell stones feel like the forbidden cards. Is what they feel like to me. I'm not even. Have they said that that every class is gonna get one?
I would assume so.
Because, like, not every class got a forbidden card, and then what was it before that?
Every class will get it, I'm sure.
I'm just going off the past. Like, I know there was another, like, sort of one-off sort of mechanic. And what came before the forbidden mechanic?
Forbidden was Old Gods, right?
Yeah. What was the set before that?
Set for Old Gods was that Grand Tournament? No.
I don't remember.
Was it Grand Tournament? Hold up.
I'm looking this up.
Yeah, actually, I think.
Yeah, it was Grand Tournament.
Okay. There was something in the Grand Tournament that also some classes got, but not others. and I cannot for the life of me remember what the card was, what the like mechanic was.
Oh, the power words.
No, it wasn't the power word.
No.
Are you talking
No.
about Joust?
Maybe it was the potions. A bunch of them got potions.
I know a bunch of classes
No,
got
that
potions
was
in
Mean Streets.
Mean Streets, yeah.
Okay.
Potions was Cabal. I
Yeah.
think whatever it is you're thinking of Mean Streets.
Yeah, probably.
Because that was very partitioned off. Well,
Yeah, I don't remember. I just know that there was like there was 2 sets in a row. It felt like where there was gadgets where it was you had the forbidden cards, and they like some classes got them, but not all of them did. And then
Paladin, Warlock,
a warlock
Mage.
had a mage.
Priest.
Yeah, but I know like Hunter didn't get one, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if these
Druid got
spell
one.
stones. Yeah, it
know.
wouldn't surprise me at all if we didn't get each class one of these.
I feel like if they were gonna do that, they wouldn't have given Druid one and given it to the 4 classes that didn't get forbidden cards.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. Is Hunter missed the boat both times last time, and I just cannot remember what cards I'm thinking of here. It is really bothering me that I don't remember it, but they're. Oh man, I feel like I'm blanking so hard. But anyway, that was It wouldn't surprise me at all if there isn't one for each class. And then
Yeah.
let's move on. I've wasted enough time
actually-
trying to figure this out.
I have a lot more hope for the recruit mechanic than I think you guys are giving it credit for. That 5-mana one, that them putting cost restrictions on it is a good thing. I think. I don't know. If more of them turn out like that.
I mean, we're not saying it's not good. We're saying it's boring and uninspiring.
Boring?
Yeah.
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 It doesn't add anything really new to the game. Since there was already Yasharaj.
Yeah, I mean, and they've done this a bunch in the past where they take a mechanic that a single card has and then make it into something much, larger.
Yasharaj is a very, very specific card that these are... I mean, Yasharaj is a mechanic, but it's a 10-mana 10/10 unless you get it off Barnes or the Shadow Essence, so...
Very true.
I don't know.
It is true. And then there's these cool new unidentified cards, and that when you put it in your deck, and when you draw it, it could be anything. The one they showed off was a 3-mana elixir for priest, unidentified elixir. It's give a minion +2/+2, and then as you draw it, you either are going to be giving the minion lifesteal, divine shield, summon a 1/1 copy of it, and Death Rattle return this minion to your hand are the options that it will choose from when you draw it into your hand. So it is definitely an interesting mechanic, but I think the base spell would have to be OP for it to be seen play. Otherwise, probably won't see play.
It'd have to be a little bit closer to Velen's Chosen, maybe with 3 health instead of... I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this card, but maybe if you're looking to abuse the weapon, you just need all the spells you can get. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an odd mechanic. We'll see how it turns out. I feel like in past when they've tried cards like this, it just, unless the base part of it is really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on. And then the last thing about this expansion is they are adding new weapons to the game, legendary weapons. They are continuing their trend of having a bunch of class legendaries, not a lot of neutral legendaries, And first it was the... What was it? What was it before the Death Knights? Why am I so dumb today?
Quests.
Quests. I'm sitting here just blanking on quests. First it was quests, then it was Death Knights. Now it's weapons. So your priest is going to get a weapon. Your mage is going to get a weapon. And they look pretty cool so far. I expect to see lots of weapon tech.
Oh yeah, and they're getting minions too, assuming all of them are getting a weapon.
Yeah, assuming that they announced one minion for Warlock.
Yeah.
And so they'll all get a minion and they'll all get a weapon. Like they've kind of continued this trend over the past. So yeah, we'll see. Again, the weapons seem kind of obvious choice. Like the Death Knights were cool, the quests were new, weapons aren't really new. So this set for me in terms of the announcements of the cards seem a little underwhelming so far, but they could put out cool stuff. The spell stones are cool. The unidentified stuff seems interesting. It would have to be kind of OP to be played. The thing I'm most excited about is the dungeon run. Have you guys read about that yet?
Like a single player adventure?
Yeah, it's roguelike is how they describe it, but it's basically there's like 40 some odd, over 4 dozen. So there's 48 or more boss battles you can do, and you start out with a basic deck, and then every time you win, they give you like some options to upgrade your deck along with some other synergistic cards for the choice you picked.
Oh yeah.
And you can battle up to 8, I believe it is. You beat 8 progressively more difficult bosses until you finish it. There's no special rewards for it. It's not like something you can grind and get gold or packs or anything like that. But you can get a what is it? Do you get a...
You get a card back for completing it with all 9 classes.
It's a card back, yeah. I'm like, it's not a hero. I forget what they announced, but I knew it was for completing it with all 9 classes. So yeah, it looks pretty neat. I'm actually really excited for that. Something more single-player oriented that's different than what they've done. I'm all for it.
I'm personally most excited about the new arena cards that are exclusive to Arena.
Oh yeah, they announced those too. I haven't seen it. I've seen. Have they announced any of them, or I thought I saw
They've
something?
announced all of them because it was voted on at BlizzCon by people in the audience.
Oh, okay. See, I saw like the options, so I don't know which ones have been picked yet. But yeah, some of them were really strong.
Yeah, the Shaman one's the most strong one that was actually added, which was Crackling Doom. 0 mana, deal 12 damage to all minions, overload 10.
Oh, that's something.
Oh dear.
Overload 10. Man, people are going to be drafting what is it, Lava Shock? I don't think, it's not in standard anymore, is it?
Let me see. I
No.
thought it was, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
You can do the Eternal.
No, Lava Burst. Lava Burst is in standard. That's right.
It's the 3 mana, or the 2 mana 3/2 that resets them. Yeah. That'll be a key card if you get a Crackling Doom. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with BlizzCon as a whole. Thought it was a lot of fun. Got to see some cool things. Pumped for a WoW expansion. Gonna get to try out Vanilla WoW, and new Hearthstone expansion. So we'll get there. The rumor is it's gonna be coming out around
First week of December, right?
Early December. There's no way
That's
they'll ever
rumor.
get close to Christmas.
Correct.
It was. I think there was a Hearthstone article. It said it was December 7th.
Yeah, that's what I read too. And we won't have any more reveals until November 20th. That's when they're going to start more reveals.
Jesus,
So
I don't like the way they do this.
I really hate it too. It's like,
They
here's
get the
set.
It's just to get the pre-order up quick.
Yeah, that is
Which
what
is-
it is.
Sell out Dan's game. I'm not buying it.
Sell out Dan's game. Yeah, so we'll see. Overall, BlizzCon was a success. I just want to say, Crushing Walls looks cool. Stop making Control Hunter cards. For the love of God, stop doing it. It's not going to work. Just make Face Hunter again. Please. I want to go Face. Yeah, make Face Hunter great again. Alright, let's do a recap of Week 10. We're going to spend most of the time, going through this and previewing next week. So, let's start with Xenergy versus Swagoy. Tim, how did that go? You guys won in the top 3 seeds, lost in the bottom 2, but were able to get it done. Tell me how it went.
Oh man, this one was rough because I believe we played Xenergy in the regular season and we beat them, so we were feeling pretty good. We felt like we knew what they were gonna do and what they were gonna bring. I believe myself and Earl got our matches out of the way very quickly, and we went 3-1, 3-0. So we were like, oh, this is such a strong start. Worst case scenario is, we obviously lose the next 3 sets. All we have to do is get 5 points if that happens. Next 2 matches, let's see. Brasky lost 0-3, and Doc McButt lost 2-3, and we were like, oh shit, there goes the momentum. we wanted to seal this out early and not have to worry about it. But I mean, thankfully for me, Tom Locke sealed it up in the very last set on Sunday. Yeah, we were sweating. We didn't want to sweat.
Yeah, it was a good win. X sadly didn't give it to you.
But they
fought for it.
Did.
They almost did.
They handed it to us, and they didn't give it to us. Which makes it sound like they handed us the series. That's not what I'm implying.
Oh, dang it. Alright. Yeah, Slim, do you guys got any thoughts about that matchup? Looking at it? Any matches that surprised you, anything like that?
Oh, I always love hearing about the order that things happened in. That's always exciting to hear about the dynamics that may have gone on there, because the end result only tells so much. So
yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, I think I picked. No, I picked Xenergy, didn't I? I was a betrayer.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Slimsh picked Xenergy. Tim picked his own team. Flyslaw picked Tim. I said that I thought Swagoy was going to win, but I'm rooting for Xenergy because, Tim didn't root for me.
I didn't say I didn't root for you. I just picked over you.
Yeah, you're a terrible person.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that was a good matchup. We'll move on to my match or the Doghouse's matchup versus the Stubbies. I got a story to tell, guys. Of what not to do in a THL match. I'm not trying to call my opponent out this week, but I am a little bit, because I'm still a teensy bit salty. We were playing, so I forget how the first 3 matches, how they shook out. I know Slip and Jimmy beat Misadventure, which I thought was wonderful. That really set us up good. Then Yellow Dart and Kahanic both lost 1-3 and then 2-3. So it was down to me and Jim to win, and Jim goes out and sweeps 3-0. So it's on me. I just have to win. I get up 2-0, have Rogue left, and I get reverse swept.
Oh.
It was horrible.
Reverse swept on Rogue?
Yeah. The Taunt he played Taunt Warrior. I couldn't get through it. I got really close. That one was really close. A top deck or 2 different. I might have been able to get there. The second game, I forget what he played, but he stomped me with it. And the last game was against his Shaman. And I swear, the man rolled Taunt Totem after Taunt Totem after Taunt Totem to block stuff. My dagger was useless the whole game, and I was really mad. That was frustrating. And then he rolls the spell power on Q when I finally build a board and Maelstrom Portals. That was really fresh. The taunt rolls were really good. His totem roll was on point. And, I'm a little frustrated. as soon as the match ends, and I hit concede, he sends me a message. And this is where, if you're paying attention to the drinking rules at the bottom, you might figure it out. He sends me a message and it just says, "Woo! Woo! I get you're excited. We're down 2-0. You're moving on in the playoffs. Don't send that to your opponent." I tell this because it's a great story. And
Hey, are you sure? Are you sure your opponent wasn't just a Jade Spirit?
And oh man, I was salty at the time. Like honestly, it's a funny story, but I get it. I mean, honestly, it's just a game, so whatever. I love THL, but it's like at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna get that mad. But don't rub salt in like the freshest of wounds, okay?
Ric Flair, baby.
So I hope this kind of turns into a little bit of a meme here because I was just like, wow. I kind of stepped back and I was like, okay. All right, so good. It was a great series. I think he reverse swept me the last time I played him, so I never want to play him again. But it was a darn good series. I wish we could be moving on, but sadly we're out.
Yeah, week 11, if Osmanout beats Brasky, I hope another woo will occur if that should happen.
I hope so. Let us know. Report back.
That should become their signature now.
I really hope they're just sending it to everybody. Oh yeah, so that's how our match went. It was disappointing to lose by a point, but it is what it is. And also, I never drew Keleseth in 3 games. I was mad about that.
Yeah, I've been reverse swept on Rogue doing the same.
It's
never Keleseth.
Yeah, never Keleseth and
Baby Rage.
Yeah,
that does sound like a Baby Rage.
But I can't. I did. I had it on 2 on the Warlock game, so I'm not going to complain too much. But I think I deserved 1 in the Rogue. But all right, let's move on to Thermic Quims versus Golden Wisp. Gideon, you didn't get to play your match, but your team went out and stomped Golden Wisp. How does it feel to knock off what most people would say was the #1 contender? And give us the rundown on how that went.
So it feels great to be able to knock off the #1 team going into the playoffs. We were pretty confident going in, mostly because we weren't blown out during the regular season when we faced them. So that was it was a little bit of a confidence booster. So we went in there. Let me see. I was trying to see what the first match was that we played.
I remember. I believe, wasn't it Rankalord and Ryzen both won pretty early? I think it was Rankalord.
So
yeah, I thought it was the lower seeds.
I know it was the lower 2 seeds first, and I think Rankalord was first, but I can't remember for sure.
Yep, it looks like actually Ryzen was first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ryzen was first, so that was really nice. And then Rankalord brought it in, and then we knew we just needed to win 1 more and keep him off some points. So that was it was great going in. It sucked a little bit that I didn't get to play my match, but I can understand where they were coming from. So I'm gonna play mine this week. I think I'm one of the first matches this week on my team.
Awesome. Who you playing this week? Well, we'll get to that. Because that's a good matchup. You're playing Dirty Lefty 2-1 of Dirty Mike and the Boys. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's. So yeah, that one not as eventful as R2. It was a blowout from the start. 2 matches didn't get played because it was wrapped up. But let's move on to Dirty Mike and the Boys. And Dirty Mike and the Boys came in and kind of did what they're known for. They they swept in the bottom three seeds 3-0, 3-2, and 3-1, and then got points the 2-3 and 2-3 in the top, beating Prep Coin Concede 16-11, and I'm pretty impressed with them. They're doing work, and I expect them to keep moving on. Not too much to say here. We saw a mage ban from Surlos. I thought that was interesting. When I
Yeah,
was looking
sometimes
at
you
this.
you see a mage and you don't want to play mage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leaving a
I don't
druid
wanna get
priest
counter
rogue
spelled.
though. Oh man.
Well, people have been going after Druid and Priest in some lineups. Well, actually, I'm not
Yeah.
sure how it would be done there.
A lot of times you create strategies to deal with the four classes that you see a whole lot: druid, priest, rogue, warlock, and then I don't know. Teams like Texas Stubbies will throw 4 hunters at you, or Prep Coin Concede will throw mages and paladins at you, and you're like, I really, really don't want to deal with this right now, so I'm gonna do something else.
And Osmanite in chat, and I see you in there. It was a heck of a match. At the time, I was a little salty, but ultimately it was a great series, and I'm glad you guys are moving on. I'm rooting for you from here on out, because I mean, who could not root for Mr. Mandingo? All right. So I want, before we move into preview of the next week of playoffs, I want to talk to GideonJura on how is your team been? What about THL have you liked so far? Switters came in as a new captain with a whole new crew of players, and we wanted to just get how your experience has been so far. It's obviously been very successful. What's the team dynamic like, and what sort of relationships do you guys have? Just give us a rundown on what you guys do and over there at the Thermoquims, and what's contributed to your all's success so far.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, I actually didn't start the season on the team. I didn't. I had been watching THL for about a year, and I never really looked into it. And then one of my friends, Blood Hunter, he's one seat on our team. He said that Thermic Winds had an opening, so I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And so I went, got on the team, and the team dynamic. I don't know how other teams look, but we're very relaxed, I think is what I would say. Is since this was our first season, I didn't have high expectations, but it seems like I don't know if we overperformed or if we got lucky. I don't even know what it is, but it's we definitely stepped up to the plate for it being our first season, and we just we aren't pressuring ourselves whatsoever. Every step is further than we've gotten before, so yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. Tim's complaining about my keys. I muted my microphone so the stream wouldn't hear me type into Osmanite in chat. And I realized that, they can still hear me in Discord.
Oh, I thought that was all coming in on the stream.
No. I was just annoying you guys. I apologize.
That's fine. That's fine. Fair enough.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are having so much success. And so one thing I was gonna ask is, do you have someone do you guys like bounce off deck lists, lineup strategies? Do y'all have like a leader that y'all look to? I know for a long time in my SHL teams, we relied on D Lyman for strategies and stuff like that, and he was a great boon to us. Do you all have anyone like that, or is it more of a group effort, or do you have like one guy who kind of does a lot of the strategy decisions?
To be honest, we don't actually have that many strategy decisions that we make as a team. whenever we see an interesting deck list, we post it in one of our deck list channels. But we practice with each other, but we don't really have any specific strategies that we all follow. Our main strategy is play what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, that is honestly, I don't. That's what my team does. It's like play whatever you want, have fun with it, and just try and win. So, yeah, it's. I think that you can find success. I know some teams will have like a very consistent strategy throughout, and
Yeah.
some kind of just roll with it.
I think, me personally, I think I've actually brought a different lineup almost every week.
Oh, you can't figure him out, Dirty Mike. You can't figure him out.
I think this week and last week I brought the same lineup, but I change it up a lot.
Yeah, you're having a good season. I believe you're 5-3. And...
Yep. I think I started off like 2-3.
Oh, so you're on a roll. Momentum into the playoffs, man. It can be good.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I wish there was a way I could see that. I bet I could figure it out. But yeah, I definitely didn't start. I didn't start that great. I know that.
Didn't start that great. Okay.
Took me a second to figure out how to get all like the THL meta figured out and all that.
It is a little different. It does take a little adjusting to, because it's not as simple as it normally is. So yeah, let's see here. Let's see. You lost week 2. I'm trying to see when the winning started. Oh, you won. You beat Alec in week 3. Let's see here. Ooh, got swept by Dirty Mike, but now you're facing Lefty 2-1-1. Oh, so let's talk about your all's matchup this week. Let's shift over into that, because I'm looking at it here, and you guys kind of got bodied the last time you played them.
Yeah, definitely.
It was
well.
It was 5-20.
Yep. Wait, we played in week 4,
It was
right?
week 4, yes.
Yeah. So we were still. That was only my second week in the league, and we were all still fairly new. We none of us really knew each other except for me and Bloodhunter.
Okay.
So we were all just trying to get to know each other, and we were still working out what we were actually going to do. So that's what I attribute to that. But we're definitely looking forward to this week. Hoping we do better this time.
Hope so.
Yeah. It also really helps that like the seeds switched up, so the matchups are a little different. You don't really have to worry about like, oh, what's my record against this one person playing them twice. It kind of changes the dynamic, and you take it from a different approach. It helps you go in there with like a fresh mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take a look at the classes. We see 5 rogues across the board for Thermoquims. We see 5 druids across the board, 4 warlocks, 3 priests, and then a paladin, mage, and hunter peppered in. And then for Dirty Mike, we have 4 druids, 4 priests, 5 rogues, 5 warlocks, with 2 hunters peppered in there. So, what do you guys think about the lineups that we have brought, and who do you guys think is going to be favored there?
Pepper.
There's nothing like seasoning your lineup with some classes.
A little salt, a little pepper, a little garlic salt. A few Italian herbs, perhaps.
Yeah, I know Bloodhunter has been liking that paladin recently, so that's why he brought that.
Yeah,
as his filler behind the big 3.
Yeah, the one thing I don't know about your and Rankalord's lineup without Priest. I don't know how you drop Priest.
So here's my reasoning. I had brought Priest for a while, and every time I've played Priest, I feel like I don't play it right.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't want to have to risk playing a deck I don't know the ins and outs of. So I just dropped Priest these last 2 weeks.
Okay. You know, if it's working for you, it's working for you. Yeah. All right, it's time to pick them. Who's winning this matchup? Dirty Mike and the boys versus the Thermoquims. Tim.
Why me first?
I'll go
I was-
first.
I was like Harry Potter under the sorting hat there. It's like, not me. Not me. And,
Not me.
well,
I'm
yeah,
picking Dirty Mike. Sorry,
Okay.
Gideon, but I'm going with him.
All good. You guys picked Golden Wisp last week, so
Hey,
Sure did. I
no.
mean, if you take down both, as far as I'm considered, you should get the championship after that.
yeah, it's over from there.
That would seem appropriate.
I
I
just
gotta pick Dirty Mike and the boys. This was my first power ranked team at the beginning of the season. I betrayed them last week in predicting that Team Golden Wisp was gonna take the entire
you were
playoffs, and now
all
I look
wrong.
very foolish for that.
You were all wrong.
I hope that Dirty Mike and the boys can forgive me as I sheepishly run back to them here.
See, here's the problem, Slim. You did it wrong. What you have to do is you have to pick against them in the weekly matchups, and then pick them in the championship like I did. That way you hedge your bets. You're gonna be right on at least maybe one of those. And Gideon, I assume that you're gonna vote for
yeah.
for your
I
own
mean,
team there.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a close match. I can say that. I think it's definitely gonna be close. I don't think it's gonna be like last week where we just went out early. I definitely think it's gonna be a close, hard-fought match, but I think we'll come out on top.
Awesome.
Isn't that momentum?
And Tim, did you say yours? I don't know. You got to.
Can't we all just be friends and leave it here? Everybody wins. Everybody gets a trophy. I don't know, man. I think I like Dirty Mike and the boys. I think I want to say that I want Dirty Mike to win, but I want the Thermic Whims to win. I think I can trust the Thermic Whims on this one.
All right.
So
Lefty,
that's how I know Dirty Mike is gonna win.
Someone in chat corrected me. Lefty 2111 doesn't roll off the tongue nearly as well as Lefty 211. So Lefty 211 in chat asks, does anyone on the Thermic Whims drive a Prius? Now, GideonJura, do you have any knowledge of the type of cars that your team drives? Because this is important information.
I know I do not.
Okay.
I do not have any information about the rest of my team, but actually I do. Blood Hunter does not drive.
Oh,
Some city boy. Or
So
young.
Or youngin.
yeah,
Or
young.
youngin.
Okay.
Younger.
We were talking about figuring out what team has like the biggest age gap, and I want to figure that one out. That would be fun.
I know Blood
What's-
Hunter is younger than I am, and I think Switters is in his 30. So
Oh wow. It is
I-
30.
I think
It is 30.
don't quote me on that. But
It is 30. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know for sure how old Jim is on my team, but I do know he was married in 81.
oh, that means he
So-
had to have been alive in '81. So we can safely say he's at least that many years old.
Yeah.
I do science, people.
So I know he's one of our older members, and so I think my teams have a good shot at it. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
But yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are having so much success. Let's talk about Stubbies versus Doghouse. Or not Doghouse, that was last week. Stubbies versus Swagaway. I'm switching between the docs to look at results, guys. I'm sorry I'm reading the wrong one. Stubbies versus Swagaway.
He caught me off guard there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as a board member, I just planted my team in place of yours.
We lightly plucked Swagaway out of the playoffs, put Doghouse back in, and we hope no one notices.
We wanted to go for the salty run back. Tim, so since you're in this one, give us the rundown in your all's preparation against the Stubbies.
So without giving away too many details, I'm gonna say we faced them in week 9. I believe the matchups were different. Earl is still playing Misadventure. I believe Tom Locke and I switched seeds, so I'm now the 3 seed. He's the 2 seed. And I think you guys said Mandingo and Osmonaut switched seeds as well.
Yes,
so the
they
only
did.
match that happened previously is Earl and Misadventure in the 1 seed, which is awesome. Even not being on either team, to watch both of them go at it again. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
But as far as our preparation goes, we're doing the same thing we always do, where we say we're going to get together and we're going to meet and we're going to talk about shit, and then we don't. Semifinals,
all
baby.
right. Let's go. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a look at the lineups here.
That one shaman.
Osmonaut sticking with the shaman. I can't imagine why.
Shaman actually looks like it could have some success over there.
Shaman's not a bad deck. I'll give it that.
Isn't Shaman one of the few decks that actually had good matchups against Rogue? At least initially. I know it really fell off since then.
Sure about that.
I have no clue.
I just know Shaman does not do well versus Priest.
Well, they can tech in Galaka. Good thing that Brasky did not bring Priest.
Well, that could change things.
Don't tell them. Maybe they won't notice.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, so we got the shaman, 4 rogues on the stubbies, 4 priest, 5 warlocks, and 5 druids, and a paladin and a shaman. So yeah, pretty very similar from Swagoy, 5 druids, 5 rogues, 4 priests, 4 warlocks, and then a mage and a paladin. So very similar lineups. But there's only going to be 2 mirrors. Nate and Tom Locke brought mirrored lineups, and Mr. Mandingo and Doc McButt brought the mirrored lineups.
Doc McButt.
The doctor.
So I'm looking at this, and we see Swagoy has a PR advantage in the top 4 seeds, and then Mr. Mandingo's got a massive PR favorite over Doc McButt. So, what do you guys think? We'll start with Slimch. What do you guys think? What do you think, Slimch? Who's winning this one?
In my heart, I think it'd be really cool. I picked Dirty Mike and the boys to go up against their friends, as I take it, their compatriots.
The Stubbies, yeah.
In the Stubbies, but I like Swagoy. I want the purple to live on, and I actually believe that they'll be able to do so. Misadventure's been having a bit of a rougher time.
Yes, started off great and lost. I know she lost in week 9 to
And Earl's looking
Earl.
very, very strong.
And she lost it first week. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Stubbies since they just beat my team and despite 10.
Ah, well, nothing unusual there. Fully expected. If this was, if we were playing in Hearthstone right now, I'd totally read your lineup and I lost anyway. That's what happens. CSHL finals.
The good news for Doc McButt is that Mr. Mandingo's been having just about as challenging of a season. So, yeah.
Doc McButt's gonna get it in this week.
Yeah, the thing about Doc McButt is, woo! He's, despite that PR difference, he's been facing that almost all season. So, these are no new circumstances for him.
Woo!
And then Gideon, you want to get in there with a pick on these two?
Yeah, so let's see.
You better pick the right one, or you're never coming back on Tavern Talk.
So, I have not been following Blue and Purple as much as I have Black and Cyan. But Stubbies is a new team this year, right?
Yes. Completely.
Yes.
Stubbies.
So, I mean, I I'm looking at the stats right now. I see Earl is the highest win rate 1 seed currently. But I think it would be really cool to have 2 new teams in the finals. So I'm going to pick the Stubbies.
Yeah, I like you. You can be back next week if you win.
Well, it was nice to have you on. You can show yourself off.
Oh, gosh. All right, so we've got our picks. So, yeah. Any individual player matchups? I know we're only selecting from a few here that we've seen that we didn't necessarily hint on that we're looking forward to. We mentioned Misadventure versus Earl being really good. I think Switters versus Surlos will be really, really good, and then Ryzen versus Cody as well. I think will be pretty good.
I like Lefty and Gideon.
That'll
I've
be
been
good.
following Lefty for a while. It's just I always think he's a really good player. But having Gideon on the show obviously
say that,
draws
he's
my
in
attention
chat.
for that. What? Oh, Lefty. I mean, I don't have not like I like you or anything.
The one I'm really looking at is the one player who didn't bring Druid, which is Surlos. He got
Yeah.
a hunter instead, so I think that matchup's going to be interesting for sure.
Dirty Mike, you're gonna have to clue me in on what your last comment in chat means, because I take that as you two are getting married, but that might not be the case. But it
Yeah,
could be.
I read that they're getting married like tomorrow or something.
What? We have a
Yeah, we
THL
didn't get an
marriage?
invitation.
I read that too, actually.
Is this not getting live streamed?
What?
How good? And they
You guys wanna
have
be on
matches
Friday
to play.
night?
They
Yeah, get married on Friday Night Fight.
Are you all gonna be? They gonna be playing their match on their honeymoon? They're both. I hope they have them scheduled like at the same time, and they're just like back to back, like just playing on laptops or iPads or whatever, playing their matches on their honeymoon. Well, that is awesome. Congratulations, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been married for an amount of years, and
I bet it's greater than 1, isn't it?
it's
Because if it was 1 year, you would have said 1 immediately. So I bet it's not
4 or 5 or something. I would yell to her, but the door's shut and she's watching TV, and I don't want to blow her
Oh
eyes out.
God.
Yeah.
How
bet
long
she's-
have we been married?
I just yell into the stream. I bet she's listening.
I think it was. I can't remember.
What?
I think it'll be 5 years next year, so I think it's been 4 years. It's been like 4.5 years or so, almost 4.5 years.
That's an amount.
Yeah.
If it gets to 10, you don't know.
Oh, no,
What?
I don't remember. It was the year after UK won the championship. I'll look it up.
Alright.
I don't know. And we got married a month before my birthday, before our birthdays, and so that messes with me. So I can never remember the year. But yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Enjoy married life. It's quite fun. I hope she's a good cook, because Julia is a great cook. And I can't cook for crap. All right.
You can learn. It's easy.
Yeah, give me a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese. All right. We're moving on to our Q&A section. Ben Goodman, a.k.a. Ridiculous Hat. Check out his stream at twitch.tv/ridiculoushat.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
He's ridiculous.
I can't talk today. Do you think playoff series should only be played until mathematically decided, and or a best of 5, or should it use the regular season format? So for those who don't know what he's referring to, I guess he's kind of asking, do you think people should have to play matches specifically in playoffs after they are decided? As you saw, Thermic Quims was up. What is it like? They had 12 points. Their opponent only had 2 or 3 points. so they mathematically could not win the match, and they just elected not to play their last matches. Currently, I think we qualify that as a DQ. Hat wants to know, should those be played, or should it just be called? Similar how, like, in a best-of-7 baseball series, if you get to 4 games won, you don't play games 5, 6, and 7 because they're inconsequential. So should players have to do that? Or should it be a best-of-5? Some people don't like that you can win the week with only winning 2 matches. It is theoretically possible to win 2 games 3-0 and then lose 3 games 2-3, and that will put you at more points than your opponent, but you only won 2 matches. And or should we continue using the regular season format? Sage, no, just hold on, Sage. We'll get to what I'm doing with your questions in a moment.
Well, it's called lightning round, Sage.
All right, so what do you guys think about Hat's question here?
I know my answer, but other answers will be more interesting, perhaps.
Well, start us off, Slim, because you know your answer.
So dismissive.
Yeah, so this shouldn't be allowed because there's a clear incentive to want to forfeit those matches if the series is decided, and that's saving as much PR as possible for going into the next season.
So,
That's bad.
So what are you saying? Because they just they just elected not to play him, and theoretically they could have played him and just thrown 3 games and lowered their PR.
Well,
even further.
We may have received evidence of that.
What?
I don't know.
Gasp.
What are you talking about? Oh, well. So, yeah, that is a potential downfall in the current system.
Saying that people could throw their matches is not useful, I think.
Yeah, it is a very fringe thing.
They got DQs. It's all good.
Yeah. So, on the format, though, do you guys prefer... do you guys think it should be a best-of-5, or should we continue to use the points system that we use currently throughout the regular season?
I personally think that one of the unique things about THL is that you can only win 2 matches, but still win the week. So I personally think that the point system is great and it should stay like that.
Points.
Yeah, I think the points makes the most sense. But if they mathematically can't win, I mean, we all have lives here. We don't need to commit that extra time to doing it during the playoffs.
Yeah, I've heard, there's some people who, like you, Tim, would just assume it's an inconsequential match. What's the point? And I know people who they really like playing their THL match, and is sad when they don't get a chance to play their THL match. I don't know how GideonJura felt about not getting to play his match this past week. I know that in the SHL finals of last season, Kahanic was a little disappointed he didn't get to play his match because, it was already wrapped up at that point. I know his opponent the scheduling didn't work out perfectly, so it worked out better for one of them to just not worry about it. But I know some people do like it, so it's a tough balance there.
I definitely was disappointed that I didn't get to play, but that's because ladder's getting boring to me, and I like the Conquest format in general.
Yeah. And THL is a very unique format, and you're only getting to playoffs. Assuming you get to playoffs, you might get to play 12 matches all season. So there's a limited amount of what you can do in THL, and missing out on them does kind of feel bad for some people. But there are some people who are just like, it doesn't matter. What's the point? And so I get that, and there's other things I could be doing that I would like to be doing. So. So
now you're cold going into the next round too. You didn't have a match last week.
Yep, it was a little sad, but.
So there's some ups and downs to all of it. I personally think that I like the current system, and I like the points as it is now. I think we're in a pretty good spot. I don't
Every game
like.
counts.
Yeah, I like that every match counts. I don't like doing it in 3-2 when all season it's about getting those points, and losing 2-3 is a much bigger deal in THL than it is anywhere else, because it's usually just match record that matters. So I like the point system, and I wouldn't like changing the format for just the playoffs.
Yeah, Eric Koki confirmed, since we can say this on Tavern Talk. I've done the math, and when you play in those leagues, that is metrically a fuck ton of matches.
Yeah, that is a lot of matches. I did not play in Highlander.
Dr. Butt, can you confirm that?
We'll wait for Doc McButt. All right, we're moving on to Sage Tastic's questions of the day. Last week we didn't answer any of his because they were all garbage, and this week he asked a bunch of garbage questions again. But this week we're going to answer them to humor him, and I'm not going to cut him off. So let's go. Mark R. Stevens asks, "What do you want for Christmas?" Tim.
For us to move to the next question.
Oh, well, Merry Christmas. We're going.
Slim.
Not anyone else answering because that's what you want.
Slim, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, if someone could hook me up with a Bob Ross painting kit, I would be delighted.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
My girlfriend wants
GideonJura.
Got a little odd one here, but I'm a senior in high school right now, so I'm looking at colleges next year, and the one thing I want is for the ability to choose where I can go for college, and have my parents not influence me.
Okay, that will be a tough one, but hopefully Santa will come in clutch. For me, the only I buy everything that I want. Like, I just bought Call of Duty because I wanted it and stuff. But I do know that I want like a new big tumbler cup because mine's starting to go, and my TV is old and it makes the room hot, so I'd like to get a new TV soon, but I don't think I'll get that for Christmas. Round 2 of the Sage-tastic Q&A extraordinaire.
Sage-tastic lightning round.
I'm changing the name every question. Let me go with this.
My bad. You didn't. Communication is important.
Who is your favorite to win the championship, and why is it the Whims? None of us picked the Whims. We all think it's Sturdy Mike and the boys.
I picked the wins. Does that count for anything?
Well, the man is right here. You gotta do him dirty like that.
All right, question 3 in the Mark R. Stevens round of bad questions. Which Ninja Turtle had the best taste in pizza?
What kind of
Mikey,
pizza
right?
did they like?
I don't know.
Didn't they all eat the same pizza?
That's what I
They
thought.
got one pizza. So, and then Mikey was the one that got it, so obviously he was the one that had the taste. Let's go. Harder questions.
Okay, yeah, that was a dumb question.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of MXC and Kenny Blankenship's painful eliminations of the day.
MXC is so good!
You guys have no clue what you're talking about.
I love MXC.
Round 4 of the Mark R.
Go watch
Stevens.
some before-
Let's pester the Q&A post with a bunch of questions. Which card best describes your sex life?
There were some good ones. Let me go to my collection.
Let me go to my collections.
Yeah, so that giant sandworm, that was, not kidding. Real big, but bit dry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
I don't know if anyone read into that.
I'm so glad you saved that for the show! Oh my gosh, that's the best!
See, that was way better than any of that, what is it, the druid thing, with it, the python, yeah.
Oh.
Knuckles was good.
Oh, my answer was ultra sore. Well, at least that's what she says when I'm done.
Nice.
I thought that one was pretty good. And Sage says Journey Below.
Oh.
That was a good one.
I mean, for me, it's Wisps, so
Oh,
Is Adam...
non-existent.
Adam is Doc McButt.
Okay. I don't think he got what this is supposed to be because he... First up, Void Tear. Solid answer. Not spectacular, solid. Then he goes Deathwing. Okay. Corpse Taker. That's scary. Okay? That is some scary stuff, Doc McButt, and I wish you were in chat to answer. Gentle Megasaur. Okay. Acolyte of Pain. I'm not going to judge. And then we scroll down, and then he says Carnivorous Ooze, which isn't even a Hearthstone card.
Yes, it is. It's the new one.
It's the new one.
Oh, it's not out yet? Okay. Doesn't count. It's not in my collection.
Oh, Feral Rage. Let's go. Savage Roar.
Then he said Yogg Saron's Hope's End. Makes no sense whatsoever. He finally hits a somewhat funny one, although it could be construed poorly. Gang Up. Which that one, I mean, as long as it's consensual. If it's consensual, okay, Doc McButt,
That could
you
be
can have that.
Tagachi with the ho 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 ganging up guy.
What if I said Kindly Grandmother?
And then Doc McButt goes Beneath the Grounds, all right, and then he slashes Ambush, and again, we need consensual.
Oh,
Consensual,
I just found a
Doc
100 card
McButt.
that I'm really not going to say. We're gonna move on now.
Is it Explosive Shot?
No, it was
Say it.
Web weave.
Animal Companion.
Why?
Isn't that horrible?
He wasn't gonna say it, and we made him say it.
Animal Companion. Ew.
Oh my gosh. And I'm disappointed that no one just came in with the hot Valera. I just expected someone to say
What
it.
Swamp King Dread?
Swamp King Dread. Oh man. Sage, this isn't your
That was a
last
good one.
question, but this is easily your best question.
That was a good one. I'm literally dead right now.
Yes, someone said Reckless Rocketeer. That was Eric Jones. I don't know who that is.
I gotta answer this. My answer is Ultimate Infestation.
Oh.
I was gonna say Evolving Spores.
Oh. You guys took it down a path we hadn't gone down yet. Oh, man.
Still going through the collection here.
All right. And his last question of the Mark R. Stevens, I finally got my questions read on air. Round of questions. I'm out of names. I didn't write these down. What qualities do you think all the best teams share?
Avenging Wrath.
Gideon, give us your thoughts on what you think the best teams share as a new perspective into the league.
First off, I have to kind of qualify what are the best teams, because we thought Golden West was the best team, and then they're not in the semifinal. So, I don't have much insight into other people's teams as much, but I think one of the things that helps the most is just being relaxed. Like, honestly, like not putting pressure on yourself and just going with what happens.
The Bad Hombres would like a word.
All right,
I couldn't
Tim, what do
remember
you
their
got?
name. The best teams. The that's the tough one because like yeah, what do we clarify as the tough teams? I mean, obviously, I think the best teams in the league aren't they don't always go undefeated and they don't always make it to the finals. But I think they find the right combination of putting trust in their players to, have them know what they're doing and let them know what they're comfortable with and letting them roll with it. But also kind of finding that line where they're like, okay, well, even if you're comfortable with it, Control Hunter's not a deck. You should probably use something else. Whatever team treads that fine line, I think, is a good quality.
So, what do you think?
Those are some pretty good answers. Yeah, there's definitely not like an easy way. There definitely is a balance. So players are going to have their own thoughts. They're going to have to be thinking for themselves. Obviously, they have to go into their own matches unassisted. So I guess it's just a balance of knowing what you're comfortable with, how you like to approach matches, what you think is going to be good, and being able to learn when it doesn't work out quickly, and having teammates who are going to be able to, tell you that if you're not willing to accept it right away, and you being able to take that. So basically just a lot of communication in all sorts of ways, both acknowledging your thoughts on the game, your comforts, your thoughts on which ways you'd like to go, and then getting as much constructive criticism and feedback as possible from, just about anyone.
Yeah, I think a good captain and communications are probably the two best, and not necessarily a good player captain, just a captain who keeps check on his team, keeps people engaged. I think those are a couple of good things. Good answers. We'll see what the champion has to say about that later.
Champion.
Now, before we go...
stolen goods.
I was gonna...
Ravaging ghoul.
I said we haven't gone down the dark bargain path yet. And
I forgot to look into wild.
And then I was really hoping someone said Mayor Noggenfogger. It just goes wherever.
Remember when we made that fake account and it got banned because Donnie reported it to Facebook?
Oh, rip.
Poor Noggenfogger.
Well, I want to thank Sage for bringing in some awesome questions. I had fun trolling him last week. It was a lot of fun.
He came back.
I got one. Hemet Jungle Hunter.
Oh, I gotta go hunting in that jungle.
Wait, are we still doing the sex life question?
Yes.
I have been.
Oh, dead man's hand.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
how about that fencing coach?
Oh. This is the best. This is easily the best segment we've had.
Tournament now.
Tentacles for arms? I don't know.
I don't know if our Japanese fan base is watching right now.
I mean, they exist.
Eadric the Pure, he's like snow.
Like Jon Snow?
He's pure.
Oh man, this has easily been one of the best questions we've ever been asked.
Fist of Juraxis.
You can go down the really dark road and get a mind control tech in there.
Oh god.
Who are you?
Oh man, this is the best. I could do this all day. I just wish I had more of them. In light of tentacles for arm, we have power word tentacles.
True.
No, someone said this actually. Tomb Pillager. That was a very good one.
Tomb Pillager's a good one. Yeah. I think we're Thing from Below.
It's definitely not Call Pet.
This has been a fun and exciting show. And last week I was so excited to troll Sage by reading his question as my parting thought and cutting off the stream, which I thought was hilarious. I forgot to give Fly Sly parting thoughts, so I hope to bring him back on at some point and let him get his parting thoughts. But this week I'm going to make sure. GideonJura, what are your parting thoughts for Tavern Talk this week?
Cut off the stream.
No.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember. What did I say in a parting thought? I haven't.
All right, I
watched
cut off the stream.
end.
No, I'm joking. Go.
Okay. I don't know. I think this week's gonna be an interesting week. I think that the playoffs are gonna shake out fully in our favor, but what happens will happen.
All right, Slim, you got some parting thoughts for us.
Parting thoughts. I'm just really excited to see how this stuff shakes out. I think we have some matches confirmed for Friday Night Fight and Salty Saturday. I'd really like to be watching some of these. We're getting down to where there's so few matches left that any match you're going to watch is going to be... I mean, this is the semifinals.
Yeah.
I think, Gideon, weren't you going to be on Friday Night
I
Fight?
said I could be, but I never got a confirmation.
I
So
think
I
that
don't
might be
think
coming.
Most of us are still waiting on confirmations.
I don't
Okay,
really know.
I think those are coming. We would like to see matches if possible, so that should be happening. Anyway, that's what I'm
Hopefully. Me and Lefty are planning on playing at the same time in Friday Night Fights anyway, so either way.
Yeah.
Eric Oki, I just want to let you know your chat was way too long and dumb. I'm not answering it. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Sage last week. Get better questions. You see how Sage stepped his level up? Okay? He stepped it up. Now, granted, 3 of his questions were dog crap, but 2 of them were great. So if you sprinkle in some shorter, crappy questions next week with a couple of solid ones, we'll probably answer them all. Alright, DeChurchy shows up just late, missing out on all the good stuff. We're just hitting parting thoughts. Alright, who has parting thoughts left? Tim, go.
My final thought is Cormac the Impaler.
Blood of the Ancient One.
This is the best segment we've ever done. Thanks, Sage. You've made the show great. You really have. You made this probably our best episode all season. I've had a blast.
Wait.
What?
Oh, no, sorry.
Alright.
It's pronounced Lich.
What were we going with?
Oh.
Oh, goodness. Alright.
Abusive Sergeant.
Blue Sombrero, I really recommend you watch the VOD, skip to the end when we start asking Sage's questions. And it was really good. And my parting thoughts is going to be multi-shot. We will see you next week. And good luck to the teams remaining in playoffs. And lastly, go watch all of our shows. There'll be Friday Night Fights, Salty Saturday, and a big congratulations to Tiny Fin Fan Club. They just won the championship of SHL. Congratulations, everyone on there. If you want to see awards, go watch the SHL Week Tonight VOD. It is on Twitch, I know. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube soon. and we will have a blog post up with all the awards from that fairly soon. But if you want to know what they are now, you have to go watch the VODs. And go subscribe to our YouTube. We need a custom URL, and we need we've been short like 4 people for like 6 seasons. So go do it. Go do it. If you haven't done it, go do it. All right, we will see you guys next week with hopefully another guest. I want to
I found Tavern Talk episode 1.
A big thank you to Tim for reaching out to people, getting guests on. I struggle with that, and he's done great. So thank you, Tim, and thank you, Gideon, for being on the show.
Yeah, anytime.
We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.